Hello folks, Scott Grove here. I'm going to show you how today to play lap steel and Dobro, if you want to do this on Dobro, with an E7 tuning. Okay, really quickly, if you have a instrument that already has been tuned to C6, that is the gauge strings you would want. So if you need strings for it, go get strings that are meant for a non-pedal steel guitar and have them for C6 tuning, and that will actually allow you to tune to this E7 tuning that I'm actually teaching you on here. Okay, so those are the strings you're going to need, just to let you know in advance. Okay, majority of this will be geared towards the lap steel as opposed to Dobro, but the exact same thing can be accomplished on Dobro. Okay, so the whole thing about this, I'll get out of the frame here for the most part, is we can take a lap steel in this tuning, which is from low B, D, E, G sharp, B, E, and almost make it sound like a pedal steel. Not just because of the tuning being so close to a pedal steel. Yes, I would love you to get a volume pedal, grab a Morley, check them out. They're the only ones that really work well. And I will show you so many things about how to actually bend strings on this video, like this. Okay, how do you do that on one? Get the video, you'll figure it out, or I'll show it to you. Anyway, but between that and this tuning, there's a 7th chord. Okay, so all this kind of junk. Between all of that, you can actually get some pretty realistic pedal steel sounds right off of your lap steel. So again, mainly for lap steel players, Dobros can do this too. The bending part. Volume pedal, no, unless you have an electric Dobro. Okay, so that's what you're getting into. If you guys actually want to get into something cool too, you can actually, with this tuning, you can actually throw on the dirt and get some noise out of it. It's cool to learn from. So this will be 99% classic country though. That's what I'm teaching here. It's the country. But don't be afraid. You can throw on the dirt and still learn a gazillion things from this video that you've never thought possible. Okay, so I had a request to do this in this tuning, so here you go. And it's a very, very cool tuning. Not too many people use it, but for those of you who already have an instrument that is tuned up in C6, you are good to go with the strings and the string gauges you have on. Okay, so if not, grab you a set of C6 strings and this groove. Again, get the strings for the non-pedal steel. Okay, get them for lap steel. Okay, so once again, Scott Grove, we're going to explore the E7 tuning and how to make the volume pedal work, how to do some bends, how to do some licks, how to make a lot of things work, and we're going to do all in one hour lesson. Okay, so be prepared to hit that pause and rewind button a whole bunch of times in this video. Okay, so enjoy this one. I know I did, or I know I will. See you inside. Okay folks, it's time to play the lap steel here, or the Dobro. You can use either one, as long as it's a 6-string instrument. And we are tuned to E7. Okay, what this is starting from your highest string, which is E, just in case you don't have a tuner, which I will bring up a specific point here in 2 more strings. Here's your high E, and your B, just like a guitar. Okay, your next string is G sharp. Okay, that will not, if you have a guitar tuner that will read a G sharp, you will not tune it to G sharp up to pitch. It's actually going to be like 15 cents flat of it. It's the same reason that pianos are not tuned, your sharp notes and flat notes, whichever you prefer to call them, are not tuned to pitch, because let's just put it this way, the musical pitch and the scale is actually wrong. There's faults in it. So when you're doing a pedal steel guitar or a lap steel guitar or a piano, anything that actually has a G sharp or any other sharps, they will not be tuned to pitch, because they will sound way, way wrong. So you have to tune that by ear. Okay, and I'll give you a demonstration of that. But for now, that is your G sharp flat. Okay, your next string is another E. So you have high E and a low E. So that's your fourth string, E. Fifth string is where you can get your seventh from. Okay, that would be a D. Bring it up this way if you want to see it. And your low string is a B. So you have another B. Okay, so you have two B's. Your first and your sixth string are both B's. And your first and fourth string are both E's. Okay, so if you play guitar already, you're kind of familiar with where we're going here. And the only reason that you have that D string there, as opposed to a different tuning that's slightly different than this, is to make seventh chords, so that you'll be transitioning from like your 1 chord to your 4 chord, and you want to go from, like, say, E to E7 before you go to A. So you actually can get that seventh chord in. Okay? So you're in E. Okay, so before you go to your next chord, you can throw in the seventh. You know, so that's all that is. Anyway, what I was talking about on your G sharp, having to tune that by ear and not by your tuner. If you tune it by your tuner, it will actually honestly be this way. It'll be about like this. If it's in tune, okay, by your tuner. So you actually have to sit there and go, and sit there and until it finally, I do like the E, do them all. Until you actually hear it pull in tune. Then of course tug on it a few times, because we're going to be doing a lot of tugging on these strings today. So make sure your strings are totally stretched out. And you just have to listen for that thing to be in tune. If you have a good tuner, then you can tune it 15 cents flat, and it'll be right where it's supposed to be every time, but it's like right at the end of the scale, so it almost wants to go into another thing. So best thing to do is tune that G sharp by ear and make it fit with the rest of your tuning. Okay, what you can't see, which you're getting ready to see, because by golly, I'm a fancy camera guy, right down here, yep, I'm going to use a volume pedal. Just for fun and to show you the versatility of this particular tuning. Okay, this is very close to a pedal steel guitar's tuning, and most pedal steels, most of them that are tuned in E9 will have 10 strings. So this here's the primary strings and the primary tuning from a pedal steel guitar, but you're just cutting off 4 strings. A lot of pedal steels also have 12 strings, but the typical E9 pedal steel guitar will have 10 strings. These are the main strings on that guitar. It will have an additional higher G sharp, which is very, very crucial in pedal steel, but since we only have one to deal with, we'll deal with that today. Okay, now the strings that you use on this, if you have strings that are gauged out for a C6 tuning, which is oddly enough the other neck on a double neck pedal steel guitar. So you have a C6 neck and an E9 neck. So if you have any of my other lessons and you happen to already have the C6 tuning and the proper gauge strings for that, that is the set of strings to use for this E7, and you can just simply retune it. You cannot put a regular set of guitar strings on and get this tuning. It will not happen. You'll have strings falling off, strings breaking, because you cannot tune them to these notes. Okay, so there you go. And that's just going on explaining a little more of what I said at the beginning. Okay, so what we're looking at is I'm going to show you a few different things. I'm going to show you the classic country stuff, which is the main reason, pardon me while I adjust again, that I was asked to do this video. Plus I'm going to throw in some of the rock or blues type stuff too, to show you why this tuning is actually so cool. Okay, I'm going to actually bring this guy almost right on top of me if humanly possible here, and try to angle it down so you can see the steel better. Okay, this gives you a better view of the fretboard. So if you're already a guitar player, which I hope you are, if not, follow along best you can. I'm going to demonstrate this once and once only. We're going to build everything we do today off of this high E string. Okay, so that will tell you what key we are playing in, or what chord we're playing. So you get E is open, or nothing fretted. I'll get to the bar in a second. E, first fret F, write it down if you don't know these things. Then F sharp. Third one is G. Fourth is G sharp. Fifth is A. Sixth fret or line is A sharp. Seventh is B. Eighth C. Ninth C sharp. 10th is D. 11th is D sharp. And 12th, where your double dots will be back to E. Then the whole thing starts over again, back to F on the 13th, then F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and back to E again if you go up 24 frets. Or we go up all the way back up to E again. So we got like 4 octaves we can cover on one string here. Okay, so that is going to determine it. So if we are, and if you don't know this, go learn it. Otherwise, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, because you can learn this anywhere on the internet, what those notes are. E, F, F sharp, G, anywhere. Otherwise, write those down and you can learn it right there and come back when you know them all, because we got a lot of stuff to cover. So when we lay our bar across here, if you have not played this instrument before, get a steel slide bar that is cut like this. Okay, I'll even let you check her out. Okay, so what it is your first finger on your left hand goes right on the top groove, your middle finger goes in one of the side grooves, and your thumb covers about half of the other groove on the other side. That's why it's cut out this way. This enables you to pick it up and move it around. A regular round steel guitar slide bar is not what you need for this, because you can't pick it up as easily as this. They weigh about 3 times as much, and you can't just pick them up and put them where you need to, like you're going to need to today. Okay. So what we're looking at is you have, you can either use finger picks. I don't use them. If you like to use them, go get them. If you don't know what they are, I'm not going to whip them out today. Go get them. The guy at the music store will show you how to put them on. If you want to use a guitar pick, use a guitar pick. If you want to use your fingers, use your fingers. It's all up to you. I just like the more mellow sound of my fingers. It just sounds better to me than the harshness of it. Just, I don't know which sounds better to you. Okay, so use what you want to. Now what we're going to do here is, right off the bat, I'm going to show you something that is cooler than anything you've ever heard, to be able to be done on a lap steel anyway, is how to play so that they can actually sound like a pedal steel. I showed you this in the intro. Now I'm going to show you how to actually do it. I'm not giving it away for free. Actually, you can find it for free on YouTube, but nobody puts it in this tuning or in this way, so here it comes. So if you're actually like playing in the key of C, which would be up here, you know, at your 8th fret, and your high 4 strings. So your E string, your G sharp string, your B string, and your E string. I'm playing thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, all in that order. Playing them all at once. See, I'm using a pedal, or a Morley volume pedal to help make this sound like a steel guitar. You don't have to, of course not. But how cool is it with it? Okay, if you're sitting your butt down anyway, you might as well have a little pedal there. What's the big deal? And Morley makes the only pedal that will actually not sound like your volume controls on your guitars. When you turn them down, your highs go away and your tone goes to crap. The Morley will not do that. The Morleys are not cut right unless they're the Lil Alligator by Steve Vai Morley. Otherwise, I have a thing on YouTube. Just look up Scott Grove Morley, M-O-R-L-E-Y, and it will show you how to fix them so that they will operate properly. Morley cuts it out so that it just goes from 0 to 10 in one shot with no in between. I show you how to revise that. So again, just go to YouTube, put in Scott Grove, G-R-O-V-E, and Morley, M-O-R-L-E-Y. It'll pop right up. It'll be the only video there for that, and it'll show you how to make your volume pedal work. And only the Morleys. Any other one's going to be just any other brand is going to destroy your tone, just like the one on your guitar. So never use the volume on your guitar. So what I'm doing here is, okay, we're at C chord, all 4 strings here at the 8th fret. Okay, now the trick I'm telling you about, other than using the volume pedal to swell in, now if you're playing country, why would you not want that? Okay, so get yourself a volume pedal. Nobody ever uses them for lap steel. Why? Because they are guitarded. That's right. Okay, so the thing here is going to be tricky at first. Okay, and you use whatever finger you want to make this happen. A good buddy of mine showed me this on lap steel, and it's just the coolest thing. I like to grab, I'll actually take my middle finger off and do it. It is actually shown to me using a ring finger. So again, just like playing slide guitar, whatever finger you want to use it. Okay, but here is the trick. Okay, it's on your B string, your 2nd string right here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see how the heck this is created. Okay, I'm going to play, let's say, so your D string, G string, or G sharp string, D string, G sharp string, B string. Now we're actually going to bend the B string. How do we do that? Okay, that middle finger, like I said, is what I use. I still try to keep fingers back here, but for this, I make an exception. I actually grab the B string with my middle finger. Check this out, and then we'll get you excited about it. So I've been in both strings. Okay, so what I did was just grab with your middle finger, or any finger that works for you. If you want to keep that one there and you have enough strength, I just don't have the strength in my ring finger to make it happen. Otherwise, that would be a perfect way to do it. If you can do it, more power to you. I just personally have to do it this way. So grab that B string and actually pull it towards you, and still have a little upward pull. Because if you actually push down on it while you're pulling, it pulls it away from the slide bar so that it's no longer in contact with the slide. So you have to do 2 motions at once. You have to pull it towards you and slightly upwards so that it still maintains contact with the bottom part of your slide. Otherwise it just pushes it away and it's gone. So that's the 2 motions you have to do. Okay, so that B string, you're trying to bend it a whole step, or 2 frets, and then back to where it was, or slow it down. bend it a few times. And now on your G sharp string, same thing. But it's only a half step or 1 fret. The G sharp string is very cool. Both of them are cool. So in conjunction, junction, what's your function? You know the words if you're as old as I am. You can, and I'm going to add in the high E. Okay, so now I'm doing the B string with the bend. Then, after I bend it, I'm going to hit the high E string, then hit the B string again. So thumb on the B string, bend it. First finger is now going to hit the high E string after you bend it. And then, or use your first finger, I don't care, to hit the B string again and then release it while everything is still ringing. Okay? Same thing on the next 2 strings. And you can hit that E string, your 4th string. Okay? So again, that's your B string, bend it. Then your high E string, B string, release it. G sharp string, hit it. Bend it. B string, hit it. G sharp string, hit it. Release it. And then finally your E string. Okay, so there is the coolest lesson you're going to have probably on this entire video. And now to make your your thing is going to have to be to try to get used to doing that, because it is very awkward at first. But that is your incentive on this whole tuning. That's why this tuning works. That's why they work on the pedal steels. I wish I could make, and maybe you can, trying to get both strings bent at the same time, but one only, your B string bent a whole step, and your G string bent only a half step. I can't make it happen. If you can, then you can actually switch from C to an F chord without having to move your bar. So if you can make it happen, there's a little inside information for you. So you can do some way cool things, which is actually what the pedals on a pedal steel guitar do. They bend those 2 notes, actually with another G sharp string, and they take everything like from this C to an F without having to move your bar anywhere. Okay, but so we're getting them 1 note at a time, but we're not able to do the whole chord. But if you can do it, man, more power to you, and it will be all sweet. And again, in conjunction, I highly recommend the volume pedal, because that's where you're going to get up to F. You cannot get that without a volume pedal, people, so please quit trying to fight me on the whole volume pedal thing. Otherwise you get... Okay, why do you want that if you can have... Okay, so point made, I hope so. So please quit fighting me. A lot of people keep saying, why should I get a volume pedal? There's why. Okay. Okay, so I want you to work on, because I've got a song lined up here. I've actually got the perfect country western song. For you people who didn't sign up for the country here, you're going to deal with a little of it, because that's what we got here. We got a little of everything for you. The perfect country western song, redone by a whole bunch of guys put together. That's right. You never call me by my name. You never even call me by my name. David Allen Co. with a whole bunch of guests on this one. We got Merle Haggard in here. Let me actually see who all we got on it. We got Merle Haggard, Charlie Pride, David Allen Co. and Doug Supernaw are all on this version. Okay? So this is going to be C, F, and G. All I'm going to do is play this song, yes, this early in the video, and let you get used to, I know we haven't touched the other strings yet, but I want you to sit there and mess around with simply going from C to F, which is going to be either your first fret. And again, folks, keep your slide bar 100% on top of where the fret marker is, not behind it, not past it, not sideways this way, but directly across with it. So, okay, so keep it directly on top of it, not behind it, not this way, don't turn it this way, don't turn it that way. You only need to put down enough pressure to make contact with the strings. Don't push down on it. Don't go, it's not what it's for. It's just there to lay it on there, and that is it. Your fingers are on here to control moving it or to pick it up. See, so you can pick it up and move it around. We'll get to that stuff in a little bit. But C on the 8th fret, F on either the 1st or, of course, the 13th, depending on how much you want to make this baby cry. And G, of course, is only going to be 2 more frets past either one. So 3rd fret or 15th fret. Now, the real key to a lot of this is going to be sliding up from a half step back. Meaning, if you're at the 8th fret, go back to the 7th fret. Whatever you're doing, and use different grips, meaning you either take 2 fingers and play 2 strings. I'm playing string 4 and 6, I'm sorry, 4 and 2. Or string 3 and 1, or strings 1 and 2, strings 2 and 3, strings 3 and 4. I don't care. Any of those, all on those 4 strings. You can add in the 6th string too, your low one, but never, under any circumstances, hit the 5th string. For now, okay? For now, pretend the 5th string does not exist. So use any of those grips. Okay? I'll get a close-up of those, and we shall move on. So again, here's 3 and 4, string numbers 3 and 4. Strings 2 and 3. Strings 1 and 2. Here's strings 1 and 3. Strings 2 and 4. I'll do strings 6 and 4. 6 and 3. See, half step. Now with using these, okay? And some vibrato. No, we're not going. That gets you seasick. You're just going back a half step, one fret, and picking whatever sounds good to you on these 4 strings. And you can add in the thumb with the low string on the 6th string. Leave the 5th string alone, okay? Play 3 strings if you want to. Play all 4. I don't care. Play what sounds good to you. Okay, that's what music's all about. Creating, not copying. Again, volume pedal. That's why I told you to get it at the beginning. I hate to stress that, but I love to stress it. Okay, so here we go. And when you go up to F, I'm going up to the 13th fret. Slide into it. That's why you have a slide. Or just get right to it. Okay, you did not hear me sliding into it because I shut the volume pedal off during the slide. That's another thing that you cannot do without a volume pedal, is you can't sneak up on. Because you're going to hear that. Okay, so I can go. All without ever playing another note, and it sounds like I just played it 3 times. So your volume pedal is ungodly important here. See, I'm not hitting anything else with my picking hand. Okay, so again, proven volume pedal must have volume pedal. Okay, so C, F, G, but slide back from a half step into these things when it sounds good to you. There, I just hit the 5th string, okay? So that's my 7th, so I'm getting ready to go back to the, lets you know you're going there. So that's the only time you would hit the 5th string, is to get a 7th chord to let people know that you're getting ready to switch into another chord. In this case, you will, in every case, you will only do it on the 1 chord or the C. You will never do a 7th note or 5th string on the F, or the 2nd note in this chord progression. And then in G, so that lets you know you're getting ready to switch, but don't ever do it on the 2nd chord in a progression. You can do it on the 1st one or the 3rd chord in it, but never on the 1st one, or sorry, never on the 2nd chord. Okay, so onto the song. I want you to just sit here and play along. I'll play a little bit with you. I want you to use the bends. Learn to use that thumb, grab something other than just the D string. Or the, I guess it's actually E string now, your 4th string. Grab that low string too. That low B string, grab it every now and then. So, now it's easy to like I just did, overbend that G sharp string. It don't take much to bend that, okay, so be careful with it. And use every grip, every position. Mess with them and see what works for you. Use these skip strings. Remember that low B string is still in here. So mess with them and do whatever you want during this song. I use it just because everybody knows the song who's ever been alive. And plus it's just 3 chords. It's easy to mess with. So here it goes. I'm going to play along a little bit, then I'm just going to play it by itself and let you dink around with it, okay? So here we go.
It was all that I could do to keep from.
So here's C. Up to F. So there's how it goes. You can actually do anything you want. Just make it up as you go. I don't care. Play over top of what they're singing. I don't care what they're singing. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to zoom back on out here. Now this song actually does have a couple more chords in it. You got the first one that's going to hit you is going to be an A, which if you, again, gauge everything by your high E string. So where would A be? Up here at the 5th fret. So that will be in the song, followed directly by a D chord. use your E string again to guide you. Where's D on your E? Well, let's see, there's an E on the 12th fret, so just back it up so you're there at the 10th fret. Okay, so those will be the other two chords. I'm going to let this song play. I'm going to shut my pie hole. I'm going to turn the guitar here up on end, get my fancy camera guy to work there for me, and I will let it play. I will just point out where basically your bar should be at. I will not point out the F down here at the 1st fret or the G at the 3rd fret for the simple fact, number one, they're out of the camera range. Number two, way down there you can't do any bending. It is almost on an F you cannot bend. On a G you can. It's very tough, but they just sound better up here. Even the C that is here at your 8th fret sounds superb way on up here an octave higher. But I'll point it here. You can play an octave higher if you want. I'll point with what's in range just to the fret where you'll be at. When it goes down to A, I will go down to the 5th fret to show you there. And I will use the D here on the 10th fret. Okay, so you just play whatever you want with what I've shown you so far. These are basic exercises to just mill over. Okay, so play what you want. And once again, David Allen Coe, Charlie Pride, Waylon Jennings, and Doug Supernall doing Never Call Me By My Name in the key of C. So we have C, F, and G are the 3 chords, C, F, and G. And the 2 odd chords are going to be A at the 5th fret and D at the 10th fret. Okay, so here we go.
Well, it was all that I could do to keep from crying. Sometimes it seems so useless to remain, but you don't have to call me darling, darling. You never even called me by my name. You don't have to call me Waylon Jennings. You don't have to call me Charlie Pride. And you don't have to call me Merle Haggard anymore. Even though you're on my fine side. So I'll hang around as long as you will let me. And I never minded standing in the rain. No, but you don't have to call me darling, darling. You never even called me by my name. Well, you know, me and the Possum Eating Cowboys, we've been playing this song for a long time out there on the road. It's a touching little Steve Goodman number about trains, trucks, mamas, prison, and getting drunk. So anyway, me and the boys got together and we asked Mr. David Allen Coe and a few of our other heroes if they wouldn't mind singing with us on what has proven itself to be the perfect country western song. I was drunk, day my mom got out of prison, and I went to pick her up in the rain, right before I could get to the station in my pickup truck. She got run over by a damn old train.
for a beautiful flipping version of that song. Yeah, that's right. You got all the real guys on there to do it. So anyway, all that is meant for is for you to go back and work on all the things that I've showed you so far. Okay? And you're like, what all have you shown me? It's like, man, there is so much. You got to just really pick up on this because I'm flying by it. So use that pause button, use that rewind button as much as humanly possible. Okay? So again, just really quick, here at C, remember your grips: 4 and 3, 3 and 2, 2 and 1, or 1 and 3, 2 and 4, 6 and 4, 6 and 3. Any of them you want to use. Okay, now like on that song, right before you go to the F, you can hit that 5th string for your 7th chord. Right before you go to F, it just sets up the chord. So now I'm just hitting 6 and 4. Because after you hit that 7th note, like I just did, you're getting in low territory. So it's nice to keep it low while you switch. Then you can build it back up by hitting the high notes. So that's why that 7th note is even in here, that D string. Okay, so that's what it's in there for, is to be able to do that, because it's very crucial, it's very country. Okay. Okay, so all this other stuff I'm doing here is nothing more than what I had told you, going to 1 fret behind and sneak it into it. So a half step back and choosing the right groupings for the occasion here. So you got to have something in mind, what you want it to sound like, and then just simply accomplish it by grabbing a grouping that sounds good. There's no real way to teach you something that is only in your head. Okay, because you get to make those up. Okay, but I will give you a few pointers on that, okay? Just so I'm not leaving you in the dark. So a thing to do is, I would actually, for lesson number 1 actually here, is grab 4 and 2 on your strings, on your grouping, whatever string fingers you want to use, don't matter. Slide into it. Then 1 and 3. But let them all ring. Or start with 1 and 3. And then play around with some strings. That was 3, 2, 1 as far as picking goes. Thumb, first finger, second finger. So I have. Okay, if you go to F, I'm doing 1 and 3 again. Sneaking in with the volume pedal and with my slide. 2 and 4. That's string 4, 3, 2, fading in with the volume pedal each time. Now I just bent the B string. Now bending the G sharp. When I bend the G sharp, I always go back and grab that B string. So always good too also to do the same thing whenever you do that G or the B string, bending it. Is grabbing the next string higher. And the G sharp string. Okay, so that's just a thumb doing the G sharp. And then grab the B string, then the G sharp string, and release it while they're all still playing. And then use your thumb to grab the fourth string. Same thing if you go to G. There I'm actually just hitting 4 and 2 and bending the 2 or the second string. I'm still hitting 4 and 3 now. Strings 4 and 3. Now 4 and 2. Okay, so that's just a couple little quick lessons on the groupings and the fingerings. But slide in. Okay, so that's the main thing, is sliding into these things and to be able to conquer these bends. These are called behind the bar bends. Okay, so you'll know what they're actually called. It's just you're bending it behind the bar. Okay, so if you need to know the actual term, I guess that would be nice. That would be what they're called, behind the bar bends. And you can try them other places and with different tunings, of course. Okay, now what I had mentioned earlier, I never get that right, it's one way or the other and it zooms out the wrong way, is the reason to pick up your bar. Okay, if you're down here on the low register, you might want to do some this kind of thing. Okay, what I'm doing, and I will show it to you. Pardon my thumb, you like that? I gotta fire my camera guy. Okay, I'll tell you what strings I'm playing, but I'm zooming in so you can see this. I don't have split screen. I'm not a rich boy. Okay, so I'm going to play the B string. I'll go ahead and put it in view here. With your B string, you can lift up your bar, and just like on guitar, you can put it down. This is actually called a hammer-on. You actually take the bar and just put it right there on top of the second fret. But you're only using the tip of the bar. You're just sticking it there, and the rest of it's not even touching the other strings. Okay, so it's just like this, kind of up in the air. Just enough to make the tip of that bar, you know, still the bottom side of it here. Underneath here, you're not using this, but you can put it on the second fret, and then, so, open, second fret, then your high E string. So you can get used to doing that. Now on your E string, you can go open, second fret, up to the fourth fret, up to the fifth fret, up to the seventh fret. So open, 2, 4, 5, 7, and backwards. So that's open on the B string, second, open E, second, up to the fourth fret, just slit it. Okay, so that's a cool little lick. Okay, now I hit the G string, or the G sharp I should say. And then you have to go to the first fret, is all you're allowed to hit on the G sharp string. Then open B string. Now here's another E string, so we're allowed to hit the fourth fret. Then pull it off. That's right, just pull it off. So you actually don't just take it up, you pull it till it hits the fifth string. Then back it off and it will actually pick it for you. It's like using a guitar pick. So as it drops off, it picks it, which is cool. Hammer-on pull-off. Okay, same thing on your low B string. Second fret, pull off. Then I would hit probably your E string again, your fourth string. Because all this stuff you're going to want to leave that fifth string out of there unless you are making seventh chords. That fifth string does not exist. Okay, so there's your. You go up to fifth. Then those are the other notes. Okay, so mess with those. Remember those when you're going up. Let's go to the A, which will be your fifth fret. Okay, so same thing. Keep that pattern we just did in mind. Now everything has to be moved. You can't take your bar off of it. Okay, so now we have to take that pattern, which is actually a scale. Okay, so now we have to think harder, but using that same pattern. So you pretend like this is your nut, this whole thing up here, but you can't take your bar off anymore. Okay, so what is that again? Okay, on your high strings, you could go and up 2 frets to the second fret, up 2 more, then half step. So we're actually going from 5th to 7th to 9th, and then you could do 10 and 12. Okay, but to keep it down here, are mainly the ones you'll use. So from the E string, just wherever you're at, it don't matter if we're here or there or back there. You just go up 2 frets, up 2 more, back. And on the B string, you can go up 2 frets. Okay, you can actually go up 2 more, and this will set you up with this is called a major 7th. If you do that, this wants you to go back to your high E string on your 5th fret. Okay, so basically you would normally avoid that, but if you want that, there it is. So second string, B string, you can do the 2 fret thing. On your G sharp string, only 1 fret. On your D string, or which is actually your E string, I guess, for this, you can do 2 frets, and same, skip over your 5th string. Same on your low B string. You can do 2 frets also. So everything is 2 frets, 2 frets, 2 frets, 2 frets, except for your G sharp string. Your 3rd string is only 1 fret. So if you want to play lead stuff, anything like that to make up melodies, those are what you'll use. So wherever you're at, like right now we're on the 5th fret in A, I'll start on your low string, your 6th string, 2 frets. On your 4th string, 2 frets. 3rd string, G sharp, only 1 fret. All the rest are just 2 frets. You can go back a fret, just like I did there. On these E strings. Or either one of those, you can go back one. That one don't work. On your B string, your G sharp don't work, so only on the 2 E strings, your 1 and your 4 string. Okay? Okay, so that is basically what I can show you for this tuning. It is the coolest thing and closest thing to pedal steel that you can get out there. Okay, use a volume pedal, please, and for God's sake, bend these strings with the behind the bar bends. And go back and practice with that one song and any other song. Always use your, see, I wanted to go out, I went in. Always use your high E string for your guide. Okay, so that is all the longer that is. If you ever want to put, like say, distortion or whatever on there, you can do exactly the same things, but just choose your groupings different. Okay, so this is all I'm going to get on this subject, is to just add a little overdrive, not really distortion, and use first string, second string. And you can do your leads the same way. But nothing is different. It's just how you go about it. It's just adding a little dirt to it. And then you go to A. So it's no different. It's just adding a little dirt in there. So that's all that is. It's just, you can put that in there if you want to. Anyway, I'm going to do the so amazingly classy outro that you've ever seen. Okay, so just this. I have had a major sunburn, so I am peeling like crazy. Anyway, and plus, hey, I'm even crooked here. Look at this. How professional am I? Anyway, so there's your lesson on your E7 tuning. There's not really any more to tell you other than that is the coolest tuning and closest tuning to a pedal steel that you're ever going to find. Okay, again, go on YouTube, just simply on the search put Scott Grove Morley, M-O-R-L-E-Y, and search, get that volume pedal, get a Morley volume pedal, or get the Little Alligator, L-I-L, by Steve Vai, but Morley puts it out and it's already fixed for you, so you won't have to open it up and do the fix like is shown on the video. But otherwise, if you can grab a Morley for 20, 30, 40 bucks on eBay, grab it and then do the little tiny fix I show you on the video. Okay, so again, Scott Grove, thanks for the request to do the E7 tuning on the lap steel, and also Dobro, same instrument, it's just one's acoustic, one's electric. So anyway, have fun with those. Mess with every song in the world. If you know what key it's in, grab the 2, 3, 4 chords that's in it. And those are basically all that you can do with messing around with each chord. So there's the lead work that you can actually do with each one, and what strings can be bent, which ones can't, how far they can be bent. If you're doing the country thing, sneak in just with a half step, with a slide bar, blah, blah, blah. Work on all that, and you'll nail it. It's not that hard if you're already playing the instrument. If you haven't ever played this before, then it might take you a little more time, of course. But there she be, kids. Thanks again. Enjoy and check out all the other different tunings on these things that I offer. Have fun. Take care. Bye-bye.